It's up to you. The ball's in your court. No more around. You want your life to be better? I can't help you. We can't help you. Joe Rogan can't help you. Ari can't help you. God can't help you. Only you can help you. Grab your balls, get a notebook, and write down what the you're gonna do this year. And this is it. You're not gonna have these problems. The drugs, the cigarettes, that dumb bitch. It all starts today, all right? No more excuses.
You know what happens? Most of you guys won't do the damn work. You know why? You're not disciplined. You're distracted. I will tell you this, it's not a one-day deal. It's the rest of your life deal. You make the decision to level up every single day for the rest of your life. Everybody wants to go to heaven. I don't care about your belief, but I say this, I want to go to heaven, but I have to die before I go to heaven. Do you hear me? How many of you are prepared to die for what you want? How many of you are really prepared to go all in? Not care about getting embarrassed. Don't care what anyone else thinks about you. Other people are running your life. It's time for you to take back control of your life.
The next year is going to go by whether you're doing something about your life or not. The next months are going to go by whether somebody is working to make change or whether they're not. I mean, just sitting around dreaming someday, someday I'm going to get a different job. Someday I'm going to change this. Well, someday ain't a day of the week. You know, there's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look on your calendar. Some days not on there. So you got to say, okay, I'm going to take this small step by here, this small step by there, this small step by there. And then pretty soon, we don't leap tall buildings in a single bound. We take it a floor at a time.
Just get started. Just get started. The longest time in the world is the hesitation between thought and action. Well, at least it has the potential to be the longest time. It can actually be forever. Forever. 1 second can actually become an eternity. That's how much it can flex. You can hesitate for 1 second to get started on something. A workout, a project, a task, something that you know you should do. You can hesitate for 1 second, and then 10, you drifted into the zone. 1 second became ever. Why is that? Instead, take action. Take action. A body in motion tends to stay in motion. A body at rest tends to stay at rest. You've had enough damn rest. Go take action.
People purpose to perform. You need to get to a point in your life where there's nothing on the docket. There's no 5K, there's no I'm gonna get into school to be this or that, and still perform to the highest level. Because what people don't get is one day that thing's gonna come up. And if you're not constantly performing without purpose, you're not gonna be ready when the time comes. It's this magical thing, purpose, that we're all looking for. But what's funny about it all is that we need these things to perform. But we don't take a second to realize the purpose is always there. The purpose never leaves us, because the very purpose is you. You are always the purpose. There may be another purpose, like being a SEAL or going to college or whatever, but the main purpose in life is you. So if you wake up in the morning and you don't want to do something, you don't care enough about yourself. And that's what you need to really research is, man, why am I not doing this for myself? Because that is the number one purpose in life, is to better oneself. So that's the only purpose I need. So the reason I get up every day, even though there's no race or there's no school or there's nothing in front of me, is because I have pride in myself. I know there's so many people that have the ability and just refuse to get off that couch. Refuse to study a few more hours, refuse to go deeper, to go further. And that's where I gain the advantage. Most people don't want to go to that extra mile. Most people don't want to find that extra because it sucks. It's miserable, it's lonely. And that used to hurt me growing up. Now I thrive in that shit. That's the only place to be.
After it, I'm gonna be struggling to find who's next. Really, who the fuck is next? Do you know what I mean? Like who has gone out there time and time again, back to back to back to back, putting it all on the line and continuing to show up? They all say I'm all talk. I look at them and say they're all talk because I'm the one in here fighting every week. I only had a 5-round war against a guy 3 times the size of me, and now I'm back again. And all I hear is complaining, bitching, moaning. You want this money, you want this, you want what I got. You gotta put in the fucking work. And as far as I'm seeing, nobody's putting in the work. Everyone's talking. Everyone's thinking, just because Connor has it, I should have it. No, I didn't always have it. There's a reason why I had it. I had to work my fucking bollocks out to get it. So, and here I am still working while they're talking.
If you're worried about something that someone did to you years ago, you're being a pussy to yourself, man. You're not getting out there and squeezing that fucking soul out every day.
Yeah.
If you grind hard, man, I ain't got time to worry about your monkey ass. I ain't got time to worry about you, man. Because tomorrow, I got to go back to the grind. And tomorrow, I go back to the grind again and again and again and again. I don't have time to put you into the hate bank. There's no hate. It's all filtered out, man, through the grind. People don't get it. There's great joy in the grind. Great joy in the suffer. It totally cleanses your body out, man.
It's 2 a.m. right now. No one here. Mano to mano, me and you, and where we want to go tomorrow. 2 a.m. What I love about 2 a.m. is that we're not living by the clock, man. Just because the clock says it's 10 o'clock, time to go to sleep, or 9 to 5, time to go to work. That's bullshit. If you're in bed right now, and you're rolling around, you can't fall asleep, get the fuck up. It probably means you haven't done an honest day's work to earn that rest at night. 2 a.m., not a fucking person's here. I can scream my fucking ass off. No one hears me. I can cry. I can shit myself. I can put an honest day's work in here that more than anyone does in a week. And no one sees it. Because it's supposed to be that way. This is the fucking means to the ends. It's not the ends. All those motherfuckers that come in here with their hair done, the makeup, these guys come in with shirts to be seen. Missing the fucking point, man. Missing the point. You're not in here to get an achievement. You're in here to pay your fucking dues, so later in life, you never wonder what if. You don't need to say, I gotta burn the midnight oil so I don't stay awake in the midnight hours wondering this. We just erase that out of the equation. We're putting the work in now, so we never wonder what if. Not run by the clock. Run by our desire where we want to go tomorrow. Our competition's fucking asleep right now. We're getting ahead of that competition. The margins between first and loser, the second place finisher, growing and growing and growing. They're all gonna fight for second place. They won't be able to keep up with you. That's being on the right path, man. Never looking back to our past. The past is great. We're proud of it. But it's not the current day. All that shit has created who we are right now, where life begins. And how we feel, and where we want to go, using that information to excel ourselves to the future of where we want to be tomorrow, which is right fucking now, last I looked. Not when the sun comes up, it's when we're ready to get up.
You don't feel like doing it. Of course you don't. It's hard. Whatever it is. Could be a workout, could be a run, could be starting on a project, could be doing the damn dishes. Whatever it is, you don't feel like doing it. And you rationalize and you justify and you make excuses like a high-priced defense attorney trying to win the case for weakness. And boy, I'll tell you what, that lawyer in your head is good. Real good. He's got all kinds of legalese in his pocket that he's going to throw at you. He's been doing this for a long time. And I hate to tell you this, that lawyer, that attorney for weakness that's in your head is smarter and better at debate and discourse than you could ever hope to be. That lawyer knows just what to say. That lawyer knows all the legal loopholes and definitely knows how to sway the jury. Definitely knows how to sway the jury. It's going to leave you standing there like an idiot. So how do you compete with that? How do you compete with that? It's actually pretty simple and pretty straightforward. Don't play the game. Don't play the game. Don't argue. Don't discuss. Don't negotiate. You tell that snake of a lawyer that's in your head to shut up. Tell him you don't want to hear it. Tell him you don't need to hear it because you are not the guilty party. You are in the right. You are on the side of strength and stability, and you don't need approval from this lazy lawyer. to go and do what you're supposed to do. So don't listen to that lazy lawyer in your head. Instead, just go get to work.
There's been many days where I didn't want to work out. I just didn't feel like I had the energy, and I just forced myself. And I think there's very few people out there that know how to force themselves. That's a learned. That's a learned skill. It's that kind of discipline and focus. You have to have like real rigid requirements of yourself, where you don't allow yourself to back out of things, and you don't allow yourself to slack off. And I don't think people put those kind of requirements on themselves as if it is a daily principle of life, like what you must get done. You know, you must brush your teeth, you must exercise for 45 minutes. And if you did that, I think you'd be healthier and happier, and your body would perform more smoothly. And if you require your body to do things like that, I think it rises to the occasion. There are very few people that have that kind of discipline. So because of that, they come up with excuses. And excuses are a giant part of the problem. It's not simply a physical health issue. There's also mental aspects of it, and discipline's a big one. I just know way too many people who are weak mentally. And I can't just chalk it off to only, you know, their physical, the way they physically feel, because I felt like shit 100 times, and then I worked out, and then I felt way better. Yeah. It's just a fact of life. That's real. You know, you just gotta. And people don't know how to do that. And it's not. And if you're used to doing this, get in your car, sit down, drive to the office, sit down, go to the lunch, sit down. You know, go to the board meeting, sit down. Get in your car on the way home, sit down. Get home in front of the TV, sit down. Then go to the gym, fuck off. They don't have any energy. You know, their body's not, their body's like, I don't have it in me to do this. And I don't believe that. I think it's a lot of it is the mindset. There's been many people that have just put their foot down and said, enough. I'm going to change my life. And they don't take any excuses, and they feel way better. Diet is most certainly a part of that, but there's also a discipline aspect, and these things are not mutually exclusive. They exist together. They're all together, and they work symbiotically. The way your mindset affects the choices you make with your diet, and the mindset also affects the choices you make in terms of like whether or not you require yourself to exercise. And I think these are critical aspects that people like to gloss over, or they like to make excuses about. And they get very angry if you don't accept those excuses. And that's a sign that they're trying to enforce this standard and this idea and push it on you and give themselves an excuse. And it's one of the reasons why they get angry. They just have poor diet choices, they have a sedentary lifestyle, and they have the momentum of this sedentary lifestyle that's holding them back. They're accustomed to being lazy. Ken, you don't have to do a lot, you just have to do something. You walk up hills, you jump a little rope, you take a little tiny kettlebell, you do a couple cleans and presses, you do a few push-ups, you do a few sit-ups, you get your blood pumping, you're moving, you're alive, you're exercising.
It's more like an obsession now. Everything I do is something to do with this, you know? Everything it's always in my head. I'm always thinking about it. I'm definitely obsessed with it. That's one thing I learned over in Iceland. Whether I was training as hard as I would be back here, probably not, you know? But it's in your mind, you know? It's the mental side that I took a lot from. I decided, like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. If I don't wanna I wanna show, I don't wanna train, I won't train, I listen to myself. Rather than like showing up and killing myself in the gym every day. I just take it, you know what I mean, go with the flow, do what I feel my body needs. I'm always trying to learn, no matter what. I don't care what your style is or whatever. I'm always trying to take something from everyone. Whether you're a day one beginner, learn is the day you're getting ready to lose, you know what I mean? You're preparing to lose then. But I'm not trying to learn, you know what I mean? That was a thing I kind of realised over in Iceland, you know, rather than just showing up and going hell for leather. I was kind of just slowing it down and just really trying to learn everything and pick up off everything. And I feel my game has elevated, definitely. If you ever get to a stage where you're looking at something and saying, nah, that doesn't work, that's my way is better. That's the wrong way of thinking. You want to learn absolutely everything. You want to absorb everything, and you want to be perfect. You know, you're looking for perfection, and you're looking to be able to move every way. And that's what I'm looking for, anyway. You know.
I've been waiting for people to start saying like, "Oh, you put another picture of the sweat and of a squat rack, really?" But I don't know if they understand. I've been getting on that squat rack and grinding it out for 25 years, and I'm not bored with it yet. It might seem like that's an unwinnable battle, but really to me, it's not about winning. It's the battle itself. It's the struggle. It's the daily test. That's what life's about. Not just physically, but mentally. Getting that rock to the top of the mountain, that's not what my goal is. My goal actually is pushing the rock, because pushing the rock, that pushes me. That makes me tougher. That makes me harder, mentally and physically. It gives me much more than I give it. I want to struggle. I want to grind and claw and scratch, and I want to dig in, and I want to push. And I don't want it to end. If I ever got the rock to the top of the mountain and it stayed there, I'd push it back down myself. I don't want to rest, and I don't want to coast. And I don't want to reach a point in my life where I say, that's it. I've done enough. I'm not going to give anymore. I'm not going to push anymore. No. That relentless cycle of day-to-day challenges, they aren't maddening to me. They don't frustrate me. They inspire me. Inspire me to drive and push more and to push harder. That's what that rock does to me. So I say, dig in and get to pushing.
When you push yourself that hard, you sleep easy at night. And it's not because you're physically tired. It's not because physically you're worn out that you sleep easy. It's that by going the physical exhaustion, your brain can finally rest, knowing you give it your all. So when you physically push yourself that hard, you sleep easy because your mind's at rest. That you did everything you could to be a champion that day. That's the difference. That's what gives you the strength to get off the ground and do it again.
I run every single morning. So I'm up about 5:30. So every morning starts with a run. And that's because that's the one thing I hate to do more than anything in the world. So that's like my cup of coffee. And I'm all about armoring yourself. So the second you leave your house, and the second you open your phone, the second you do any of that, you are now letting in poison and cancer. So I make sure a lot of things you can't avoid. So as I get up, I start to armor plate my mind and body. Like a person's going to war, you put your body armor on. That's what I'm doing on that run. I'm waking up and I'm giving myself all this armor. So when I come out in the world, now look at that phone, I'm ready. I'm not waking up late. I'm not rushing around. I'm not disorganized because I know I'm gonna get hit in the fucking mouth. There's an art to getting hit in the fucking mouth. And that is why these things are important. You have to wake up and you have to give yourself belief. You have to give yourself confidence. So it starts with that run. So after the run, I come home, I eat something small, and I'm in the gym. So, and then after that, to whatever's on the plan for the day.
You know, I left off as the undefeated, undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, and I picked right back up where I left off nearly 3 years later. So if that's not a testament for mental health, I don't know what is.
It may have been a great year for boxing and the comeback and all that, but from where I was in my mind, just for me and my family, it's like unbelievable just to be here today and just to have a fantastic year. 2018, may I say, has been the best year of my life. And I started it so low and so down. but I had determination and will, the right people around me, and we made a go of it. You know, all the critics, all the odds said I couldn't come back. History said I couldn't come back. Every linear heavyweight champion who ever returned from time out the ring got flattened. But I didn't. That's what makes me unique.
I just showed the world tonight, everyone suffering with mental health, that you can come back and it can be done. Everybody out there who has the same problems that I've been suffering with, I did that for you guys. You know the truth. Everybody knows I won that fight. And if I can come back from where I come from, then you can do it too. So get up, get over it, and let's do it.
Set a time to train at that time. Set a time to go to sleep at that time. Set a time to get up at that time. That's what I was talking about with Ariel. I knew in my head I was saying, I didn't get up at that time. Train at this time. I didn't train at that time. Don't eat this. I ate that. Don't drink that. I drank it. And these all just infiltrate my mental strength. Just little instead of wins, and it just culminates into and you just don't want to be here. So
whenever I talk to an up-and-comer or my friends, or I see people training and they're training hard or doing this and that, and I'm just like, bro, this is crazy. Like most of us in the UFC already, right? I was like, guys, there comes a point where like you're pretty much good. Like everything can get you by. You got here already. But now the only thing different that's gonna get you to the top 15 is mental. And then from 15 to 10, the only difference between those guys is mental. And then from 10 to 5, same thing. And then from champion and everybody else, it's a mentality thing. It's just something that to do with IQ and something. That's the only thing that changed. Like, we're all good. We're all at the mecca of fighting. The UFC is where everybody wants to be. But what makes you a champ? What makes me a champion? You not. Something gotta be it. Like, you can lift more weights than me, though. You know what I mean? Like, we're the same. If we're the same weight class, you're stronger than me. You're faster than me. What is the difference?
What is the difference?
I believe it's that passport to crazy land. It's that mental. It's that thing. Like, I'm willing to do something that I don't know if you even thought of doing it, or if it's presented with you that if you're going to take that chance, you know. And
it's that, but it's also you're willing to put the intensity into your training camps and the focus and dedication into your craft that maybe some people aren't. And maybe sometimes people that are really talented, things come a little too easy for them and they don't want to work as hard.
Exactly. That's the downfall with a lot of these guys, you know. A lot of these guys is like, they're just like all-stars in their town and playing regular sports, you know what I mean? You see it all the time. They're just all-stars in their towns, whatever, and then they go to the other stuff and then they're just another guy.
Yeah.
There's somebody that's faster, stronger, and better than you, you know what I mean? And then when they get there, instead of pushing through, they never had to. And then there's that kid that was like just always just kind of made the team. And then he's there with you, and he sees that, and he see you break, and that pushes him. And then now he's with those guys that's just, who's freak athletes, but they all have the mind. But this guy don't have the freak athletes, but he get the mind, and he's hanging with them because he's figuring out a fucking way to do it, you know.
I always fix the things on the surface. So if I couldn't read and write, I learned to read and write. I would always fix these things on the surface level. And so whenever something hard would raise its ugly head, I didn't have any kind of tools to handle it. I'm like, man, I thought I fixed this already, man. But no, I didn't go deep into the dungeon of my soul to say, okay, what is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid? And so that's why I kept on quitting and going back to start, or not knowing how to get through hard times. And that's why I always tell people, I'm not a theorist. I didn't study, I didn't study a fucking book. I literally put myself in a fire repeatedly, like a sword. You put a sword in the fire repeatedly and repeatedly. If you keep on doing that, you're gonna get a nice sword. And then you keep on beating it. You gotta beat the shit out of it. And that's what I am. Yeah. I became that. I said, okay, we can't quit. We gotta figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man? What is wrong with you? What's going on here? So I kept on putting the sword back in the daggone fire, and I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man, the brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard. I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner. I put it in hell. I dissected it while it's in hell, because you can't dissect anything in a normal environment. You can't dissect anything in 72-degree weather. You must put it in the fucking freezer and freeze the fuck out of it. And then you dissect it. Dissect it when it's miserable. Dissect the brain when all it's thinking about is, I need to get out of here, man. I want to get out of the fucking freezer. Open the door. And he said, nah, 5 more seconds, man. 5 more seconds in the freezer. And that's when you start to pick that brain apart. And that's what all this stuff did to me. I kept on putting myself back into the freezer or the fire and beating the shit out of myself, mentally and physically. Before I knew it, this is what happened.
How do you not stay motivated? I can't. Unfortunately, there's been times in my life when I get done with a workout, I get done with an opportunity, I get done with a certain situation, I get done with the meeting, I get done with some season of my life, and I look back and I say, man, I had a little bit left in the tank. I had a little bit more of myself that I could give. And that's what I try to do every single day. I minimize the amount of time that I spend inside my comfort zone. The more time that you can spend outside of your comfort zone, the more time that you can spend pushing yourself, putting yourself in those deep waters, putting yourself in those times of adversity, putting yourself in those times where those depths of which people are afraid to go to. The only thing holding you back is yourself, and the only thing holding you back is that fear of failure, that fear of getting outside of your comfort zone, that fear of the unknown. So just forget it and break through it. That's how I stay motivated every single day. If I'm doing the bare minimum, and if I'm doing what other people have done before me, I'm only going to be able to achieve the levels at which they have. I want to achieve over and above, overly and exceedingly above my expectations, their expectations, and every single person's expectations. I wake up every single morning with a beautiful gift, a beautiful opportunity, with 2 capable arms and 2 capable legs to be able to go out and do something that means something in front of millions of people.
A lot of you are trying to find inspiration and motivation with a depressed mindset. You're depressed because you're not doing shit with yourself. You don't find inspiration by not living in the grip of life. You need to live in the grip of life to find inspiration. Put challenges in front of yourself. When you put a challenge in front of yourself and you attack it, that's when you find inspiration. Try to be 10% better than you were last week. So if you're running 30 miles a week, run 33. If you're swimming 500 meters, swim 550. And some of you aren't doing shit, you're 10% just getting off the fucking couch. The more you walk away from accountability, the weaker you become. Find yourself in the grip of life. You can't find yourself by doing nothing.
Welcome to our motherfucking gym. Our fucking dreams becoming a reality on our fucking terms, man. We run in the day. I tell you, there's a certain type of high you get in here when no one else is here. It's quiet, it's calm. Hearing yourself think, working through some stresses in your life, the demons, overcoming them right now when everyone else is taking time out. Everyone's sleeping right now, you're taking the time to get ahead. There's a real positive confidence of the individual that goes through an endeavor this time of the night. When everyone else in society says it's time to sleep, we say it's time to get ahead. Guys, in life, winning isn't everything, but training to win is. Having the will to win, that is everything. Whether you win or not, people are gonna fail. You gotta get back up and try it again. But if you don't have the will to win, and you don't train to win, well, that's where you're really missing the mark, guys. Winning isn't everything, but having the will and training to win, that sure shit is. 2 in the morning right now. Yeah, man. That will's alive right now. We're training for a greater purpose for tomorrow. Fucking tell you, man. That pulse of life right now is beating like a motherfucker. That victory, that opportunity that's coming to fruition, I almost taste it when you hear these kind of hours. Fucking awesome. Progression is the key to happiness. As long as you're on a path of moving forward in a positive motion, not stagnant, moving forward, that is a parallel path to happiness. The people that throw in the towel, sit down and quit, they aren't happy. They're the bullshitters, the critics, who look around at other people's accomplishments and put them down because they're doing something they couldn't do. They hate them for it because their success reminds them of their failures. That's why they're sitting down, because they gave in. As long as you're moving forward, some people go at faster paces than others. But if you get there, who gives a fuck if you get there or not? As long as you're in the pursuit of that, you'll find a very happy life paralleled with it.